it's Tanisha, also known as CraftT of CraftT Creations, and I am here today to do a tutorial on CraftT Creations' newest Diva kit. It is the Tiny Diva, or the Little Diva, we like to call it. And with that kit, you can recreate, you may have seen these floating around Facebook, Instagram, and maybe even here on YouTube with the previous announcement of these kits. I'm going to show you how to put our kids kit together. So our kids kit comes as a front diva. We are working on the kids kit in some of the other silhouette styles that we have. It comes with one tiny front face silhouette and two circles, or it comes with one tiny front face silhouette and one large circle. And it also comes with a sheet of vinyl stickers. This has just been added today, and now all of our craft kits have this inside. So with the components of your CraftT Creations kids kit, good for adults too, let's get started. The very first step in creating your Tiny Diva is to paint it. I recommend the Rust-Oleum 2x Paint Plus Primer brand. You may need to use more than one coat on the lighter colors, but it will cover your silhouette entirely as they are tempered hardboard. Now, the process of putting the faces on these divas can be a little bit tricky. We've got 4 different sets of eyes, all different types of features that we can use. The sheets that we have are just like the Cricut vinyl that you can buy in your local craft stores. I recommend using wax paper to make certain that you have your face positioned properly on the silhouette before you put it down. I use clear contact paper. I prefer to use the Dollar Tree brand because it isn't quite as sticky as the Cricut transfer paper or the actual contact paper brand. This is from Dollar Tree, and it is just $1 for an entire roll. And you can do several faces. I mean, a lot of faces with one roll of Dollar Tree clear transfer paper. So the first thing you need to do is decide which decals you're going to want to put on your face. Okay? And after you've decided what you're going to put on, we're going to line it up on the wax paper first. If you use wax paper, it allows you the ability to put your images onto the paper as you choose and reposition them as you may need to. Once you have this vinyl stuck down to the wood form, it's there permanently. This is vinyl. This is not just plain old sticker paper or regular paper. So once you get this down onto the wood, you can't take this off. Well, actually you can take it off, but it's going to be noticeable that you have removed it from the wood. So let's start by putting the stickers that we want on the face. We're going to utilize the wax paper cutout. I made that by just tracing out of a piece of wax paper my actual silhouette. And this way we can make certain that we are getting everything in place precisely where it needs to be before we stick this down. Now, this vinyl can be a little bit tricky. This isn't like a piece of paper. You get little bubbles, you can get little lines and other things underneath. So when you position this, you need to position it just so and smooth completely so that it lays nice and flat and doesn't make wrinkles, because we're going to lay the clear contact paper over the top of this in order to position it properly onto the wooden silhouette. Okay, so I've got the glasses down. I'm going to pick whatever other features I want to put onto the wax paper, and we'll go accordingly. Got to make sure this is all the way smooth when I'm putting it down. Benefit of the wax paper is you get to lift it up and put it back down a few more times. Now I'll go ahead and add some additional features here. Little nose. And I'll use one of the other little stickers in our kit for the mouth. Now these come in a variety of shapes. You can use them for eyebrows or other things, however you choose to do it. But the first thing we need to do is figure out which pieces we're using and get them positioned properly onto the wax paper. Okay, now we've got our face in place. We're going to take the dollar store clear transfer paper and we're going to put it over, after peeling it from the backing, right over the wax paper and the vinyl that we have in place. Once we've positioned the paper over, we're going to rub each piece of vinyl and make it adhere to the contact paper. That is, if I can get this thing to come apart. So positioning this clear paper right over the face. Okay, this is wax paper. It's not going to hurt anything. We're going to put the clear paper down and press down. And then you need to take a smooth edge, a popsicle stick, a debit card or plastic card, a squeegee, anything like that. Your fingernail even works for rubbing. I've got a clothespin here handy. We'll just use the edge of this to rub these little features down, and that helps it stick to the clear paper. And since it doesn't stick to the wax paper, we're going to be able to see through the paper to position these features onto the wooden silhouette. Because once we put them down, they are there permanently. Okay? So slowly peel your clear paper from the wax paper, and you can see our little face in its proper position comes right off. We can see through the paper and see precisely where to position that on the painted silhouette so that we don't make any mistakes or have to lift that vinyl up. Once we lift it up, we have ruined the vinyl and we have likely done something to the silhouette itself that's going to cause us to have to repaint or possibly start over. So rub down the vinyl very gently. You don't need to scratch it so hard that you scrape the vinyl off or damage the paint on the silhouette itself. Rub each of the little features down. I'm just using the little edge of my clothespin. You want to make sure that it's stuck down, okay? And once you've done that, you can peel your clear off and you have a face in place. Now, after I've applied my face, I like to use Rust-Oleum spray acrylic and coat my face with a coat of acrylic spray to seal it. It seals the paint, it seals my vinyl stickers, and holds everything into place. This is the Rust-Oleum brand covering that I recommend. I either use the triple thick glaze or I use the 2x brand Paint Plus Primer Spray Clear Gloss. Okay, now that we've got our silhouette painted, we've applied the vinyl stickers that come in the kit. I chose glasses, a nose, and a mouth. And I also applied a clear coat of the Rust-Oleum triple thick glaze. You can also use the Rust-Oleum clear gloss. Okay, that's why this is so shiny. You can see a little gloss on there. Now, here comes the tricky part. When you are doing this particular diva, this is a copy of the Christmas diva with the full hair. You will use the little corrugated plastic circle that comes in your kit. Now, of course, if you just do it like this, that's great too. But if you're actually wanting earrings or something to hang down, we're going to need to cut this circle in order to accommodate earrings or freeing the space beside these ears. Okay, I use like an X-Acto knife, a box cutter, something like that. And basically, I just cut almost like a piece of pie out of this plastic circle. I'll show you how to do that. Now, based on how I want my head to fit on this circle, since I'm going to want the ears clear pretty much from here over, I just kind of make a dot where I want my plastic to stop. And then I make sure I cut. There we go. I cut from the center, right about in here to this line. All of this from here up. And this is just a rough estimate. This doesn't have to be precise because it's going to be in the back and it's going to be hidden. Okay, so this little triangle here is what I need to cut. Now you can cut this corrugated plastic with heavy duty scissors. The box cutter is what I usually use on my larger circles, but since this is a little one, I'm just going to use these heavy duty scissors to snip through. Now, if the kiddos are making something like this, we absolutely are going to have to help them along with this part. This plastic is pretty thick. This idea came from actually 8-inch cake boards, which will work just the same and aren't nearly as hard to cut as the corrugated plastic. But basically, you're going to make a Pac-Man. And this will fit behind your diva's head like so. Okay? You're basically just going to make something that looks like a little bit of a helmet. And we're going to hot glue. We're going to hot glue these two together. And then we will add the embellishments. So now that we have all of the components, the basic components of the tiny kit put together, we get to add all of the stuff or whatever we decide to put up here. Now, one of the things I've used that worked really well, this was all done with things from Dollar Tree. These are vase fillers. They're little styrofoam balls that work wonderfully for the hair that kind of mimics the larger Christmas ornaments. Now, they do have miniature Christmas ornaments that would work just fine for this. I got these 50% off at my local Hobby Lobby, and I just thought the colors were fun. And that's what I'm going to use to do her hair. And I'm also going to use these rhinestones, and I'm going to bling this diva's glasses. Now, one of the things I did find, like when I was creating this little diva, and I'll show you all how I put these 2 ponytails on. These tiny buttons took me forever. This is adorable. It's cute. It's wonderful when you have time. If you're doing crafts with a group of kiddos or a few kiddos, I recommend, these came from Dollar Tree. They're larger buttons. For this hair, now us grown-ups doing all this little meticulous stuff would have been no big deal, but for a kiddo, that's a lot of itty bitty buttons, and I would recommend using larger ones if you're going to use buttons for the hair on this. But I use my glue gun and essentially just glue these little balls in random order, no particular pattern, all over this cardboard. Now, some of the balls are going to need to go on the forehead to make a hairline, just like I did on this one. Okay, so you just have to play. You just have to start gluing and see what you come up with. It's not going to be the same every time. You will want to make sure you get right to the edge of your cardboard, because it will show otherwise. If you don't go right to the edge, you'll see white right around your wreath form. So I'm just going to continue gluing these balls. I got glue stringing everywhere. These little styrofoam balls onto this cardboard or plastic. So as we continue to fill in, we're going to go back and do another layer of just random colors. You just keep going and fill up the space. And yes, we're going to eventually go down onto her forehead, or his forehead, whatever you want to call it, and create the hairline as well. I decided to add some eyebrows to her. Her forehead was looking kind of weird without eyebrows. So these are just 2 other stickers that come on our sheet that could be used for a mouth, could be used for a nose, could be used for whatever. Well, I decided to make her some eyebrows. So I'm going to add those here, and I think that will help her forehead not look so big. Because she was looking funny to me for some reason in the front. So we're going to put some eyebrows on, and I'm going to add a little bit more to the hair. I'm going to bling her eyeglasses also. So I'm going to just keep working on her a little bit. Okay, now this is basically the Tiny Diva in a nutshell. Okay, I'm gonna put a shirt on her and some jewelry. I've got a little piece of glitter paper here, and I am just going to trace in the outline of her neck. Okay, so I turn this over, I trace the outline of her neck, and then I'm going to cut it out and basically just glue it right onto her, right onto the bottom of this piece of wood. So I turned the paper over, and I wasn't very conservative with this paper because it actually was about to go in the trash, but I certainly could have saved a bit more of this. But then you just cut this out, and we're going to make a little shirt for her, maybe. And this will stick on. But you basically are just going to make a mock shirt just to cover up the wood parts. Is what this is, okay? So I'm going to cut this out. And really, this is really just the same as the large or the full-size Front Diva silhouette tutorial that is also here on my YouTube channel. It's just using using smaller pieces. Now, not sure how we want to do the top of this. Maybe we will make it more like a little bit of a little V-neck or something there. You can see my artist renditions aren't always the best, but it gives a general appearance of what it's supposed to be. Okay, so something like that, and then we're going to stick that right on there. Okay. This is just a little piece of glitter sticker paper, and you can find, I actually got this at Dollar Tree. This sheet came with 3 in there. I don't remember what the other color was. Might have been that hot pink that I'm seeing. But this just made a shirt, and then we're going to put some little stones. My stones had moved on my glasses a little bit. I didn't let this finish drying before I started moving it all around. But I'm going to add, my glasses are a little off here because this side almost can't get to her ear over there. Okay, so this still needs to dry a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of rhinestones for earrings there. And that would complete this wreath. Now, well, it's not a wreath. This diva. This one, we weren't able to come up with a wreath form that was really going to work for this one. So we opted not to include that, and we did include stickers. Got a little too much glue on there. We did include stickers instead. Okay, now this definitely needs to dry, but that is a very simple kids diva simple little kids diva using the full circle kit. Okay, we used the stickers that came in the kit. Okay, I used a bag of base filler from my local Hobby Lobby. I got this for 50% off. So I paid what, $2.50 for that. These are stones. I actually ordered these crystals from wish.com. I found that my local Dollar Tree has something similar, not quite as sparkly, but Dollar Tree also sells those little stones that y'all can embellish the glasses or the shirt or whatever with. Okay, so here is the full circle. We did a little mini diva. Okay, now let me show you how to do the 2 circles. Okay, so I already started a face on this one, and what I want to show you here is how to do that little bubble gum, that little face that you see on this one. All this is a piece of Cricut vinyl that I cut in a circle. Now, for most of us that have the Cricut machine, we're gonna go over onto our Cricut machine and have it cut out a circle in a certain number of inches, okay? But since we're going to pretend that I don't have a Cricut and I've got these wonderful vinyl stickers, and I'm going to make the bubble gum for this little diva, I have several sheets of different shades of pink vinyl. You buy this at Walmart in the Cricut section, C-R-I-C-U-T, Cricut is what I'm saying. Hot pink, and we got that lovely little bubblegum pink. You can see I have cut out other circles using my Cricut machine for other projects. So what I did to recreate that bubble gum that we need, that little bubble that she's blowing, is I turned my paper over. You see there's little lines on the side. There's something I painted or something on there, on the back of there. And then I took a cup, a circle, okay, and I put it on my paper and I traced it. Okay, so circle down, trace it like this, all the way around, and then we're going to cut it out. That's it, plain and simple. Okay, so let's cut out this circle so that we have the circle that we need for our bubble gum. Okay, now I've cut out my little circle. Okay, now here I have my painted front-facing diva. I put 2 eyes on. I didn't bother with a nose or a mouth because we're just going to cover it up with this bubblegum circle, okay? So all you're going to do to get the bubblegum look is use eyes and eyebrows, okay, on this. Now this, the way these eyes come, it's got the lashes. I don't think I'm going to do the brows, but I'm going to show you how I did the bubblegum. Basically, that circle that I cut out out of the Cricut vinyl, out of this pink vinyl here, cut it out. Okay, we're going to peel it apart. And that just goes a little bit over the eyes because it's like they're blowing a big bubble. Okay, so just a little bit over the eyes, and we place the bubblegum circle. Okay, that's how you get the look of blowing bubbles. Now, we're going to add the 2 circles. We don't have to cut. We don't have to do anything different with this because these are just the right size. And I essentially glue these right to the back of my diva head, okay? So we've got our glue. We know where the circles are going to go. We're going to add a bit of hot glue. We're going to place 1 circle, press it down, okay? Going to add a little bit of hot glue here. You're going to make sure you got those, okay, in the same spot. You don't want her ponytails to be crooked, okay? Make sure we've got that even. So her ponytails are the same. We add our hot glue like we need to the wood. And then we're going to press this down. Right now with that face, it almost looks like a clown. Okay, and we're ready to rock and roll. We're ready to apply whatever we're going to put onto her ponytails. Now this one, I used buttons. These little bitty buttons were a lot of work. Cute design, but that was a lot of work. So from my local Dollar Tree, I got larger buttons. The little ones are great. The larger ones will help you cover a bigger area a little bit faster. So I'm going to open these up and we're going to go ahead and start applying all these different size buttons to this diva. Okay, so we're just going to go to town gluing and arranging. This pack that I got from Dollar Tree has 90 buttons in it. And we'll see how much of these ponytails we get covered with these 90 buttons. We're just going to keep on adding buttons until we fill this all the way up. And as I said, I recommend that you use the larger ones for more of the foundation and then come back with the smaller ones, or you will use a ton of buttons. So I'm on the second package of these buttons, and it does look like a package of 90 or 100 is not going to be enough unless you're using really, really large buttons. So anywhere that I see white remaining or can see a piece of the white corrugated plastic underneath, I put a button. And that's kind of how that layered appearance starts to happen. But anywhere I see white, I am going to cover that up. Okay, so now I have all of the buttons glued on, and I've got a lot of glue strings in here. I'll go through and pick all of that off and make that pretty. But that's a basic assembly with the button style. Now, of course, I'm going to add the bow, and the very ribbon that I used to make that bow is also the ribbon that I need to make her, lost that on the floor, the ribbon I need to make the appearance of a shirt at the bottom. And I essentially take the ribbon, fold it over one way, cut it, glue it, and then I'm going to fold it over the other way. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and trim that ribbon right there, and we're going to just fold this one this way and glue it on the back side. Gonna have to trim that so it lays nice and neat. Just put a little dab of glue there. Hold that fabric down. And put a little dab of glue here. And then we'll hold this piece of fabric down. Okay, see there? That gives the crisscross appearance in the front of her shirt, like the other Little Diva that I made, okay? That's just a piece of ribbon, and this ribbon came from Dollar Tree. This is over in the section where you get all the baby shower stuff in their store, okay? I'm gonna do that just like this and glue it again. So I'm gonna trim the ribbon so that I can make her little shirt. Line it up just right. Glue where I need to glue. And I'm going to bring this one over. Make sure it's lined up in the front. I'll glue that piece. Then we'll trim that off. And that's just one really simple way. The back of that's not real gorgeous. And if you would like, you can trace this head with a piece of felt or the foam piece, and you can cover that and it'll look nice and neat, especially if you're going to give this as a gift or as an accent piece with one of the larger divas. You can make the back of this look a lot neater. But if this is just a fun project for you and the kiddos to do at home, you don't have to worry about that back being so fancy. But I'm going to go ahead and glue her bow on. And I don't make the bow according to like the bow maker style. I fold a piece of ribbon, staple it in the middle, and go. I'm not a bow maker at all. So I have a mock bow, I guess is probably what this is better classified as. But basically, I'm gluing it right down. That hot glue is wonderful. Okay, I'm gonna add a little more hot glue, a little dab right here, and put a cute little button in the middle. And that is still drying. Letting that glue dry. Going back, I always have little strings of hot glue. And hot glue is not the only glue you can use, especially if you're working with the kiddos. Hot glue may not be the best option for you all in working with that. Any kind of glue will work. Hot glue just adheres it a lot more permanently as far as I'm concerned, and makes it last a little bit longer. I got my shirt off just a little bit on that corner. You can still see a little of my wood. But that is another version of the Front Diva that's made like a little girl. Okay, with the bubble gum. We got a pink one and we got a blue one. Very, very simple to make using our tiny diva kit. So we have used or put together both of the CraftT Creations kits that we have. And those kits, there are two. They both include the tiny Front Diva. It is a large circle that goes with the silhouette, or it is two circles that go with the silhouette, okay? And from that kit, one circle or two, we can create something like this. We can create something like this. This is the one we just did. I love, love, love her colors. Love the colors. I had a peacock Christmas tree done in these colors one year. I miss it. So that's what the circle kit, and these were created using the 2 circle kit. And I did them similar on purpose. I wanted to demonstrate how to make that bubblegum circle if anybody had decided they wanted to do that. Now, inside of those kids' kits, you will get a sticker sheet. And this is just what it will look like, okay? You get a pair of glasses, a couple of noses, a couple of these shapes, which can be used for eyebrows, mouths, noses, other facial features that you might want to add. And you get 4 pairs of eyes in different colors. Those come standard in your kids kit. Okay, so some of the stuff that I added, this one in particular, I created with all things Dollar Tree. This is Dollar Tree wrapping paper. This is a bracelet from Dollar Tree. This is vase filler, comes in a bag. This bag came from Hobby Lobby. There's bags of those at Dollar General in different colors. This was one of those headbands that goes on your head. It opens up, splits into 2 pieces. I cut it apart and attached plastic canvas to it so it would stand up. And that's how I did this one here. You all made this one with me today. And we used the glasses. Whoops, the glasses. We didn't use the eyes. We did use the eyebrows. And we used the mouth. I added a little bling to her glasses on this one. Just a little stone, just little things to help it along. This is a piece of vinyl sticker paper from Dollar Tree. Came 3 sheets in a pack. Okay? This also, all Dollar Tree recreations once you buy our kit. This ribbon came from Dollar Tree. Pack of buttons from Dollar Tree. Out of 2 packs of 90, I probably used about 150 of those buttons to get this done. So I'm guessing there's probably about 75 on each ponytail. Okay, but this ribbon and all of these embellishments came from Dollar Tree. This one here I recreated with Walmart ribbon and Walmart buttons. The smaller buttons did take a little bit longer, but these fun creations, y'all, can be made using the CraftT Creations Little Diva Kit, which comes in either 1 full circle or 2 small circles. And that, my friends, in a nutshell, is how you put together the tiny diva. Let me reiterate, you will need to paint your diva prior to applying your vinyl stickers if you choose. The brown wood that it comes in may be just the shade that you need. But I do recommend the Rust-Oleum 2 times Paint Plus Primer brand spray paint. These are the 2 colors that I use the most. Satin Warm Caramel and Ivory Silk. Those are the 2 that I use the most, and I stand by my Rust-Oleum when it comes to painting the CraftT Creations Diva heads. They're tempered with, they're hardboard tempered, which is perfect for painting, and that Rust-Oleum seems to work really well on those. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me for just a bit today and learning how to put together our new CraftT Kids Creations kits. And you can find those kits at our website at www.crafttcreations.com. Don't forget that second T, crafttcreations.com. You can find me right here on my YouTube channel, and I sure hope you'll subscribe, as CraftT Creates. I'm as the same name on Facebook, CraftT Creates, and I am CraftT of KC on both Instagram and Snapchat. Thanks so much for sharing with me today, and happy crafting.